the critical programs that people depend upon will work, and it's going to be a fantastic future. But are we going to get a lot of complaints along the way? Absolutely. One of the things I learned at PayPal was who complains the loudest and with the most amount of fake righteous indignation? The fraudsters. It's a tell.
What we're seeing regarding these complaints, Elon, is that people are not happy because what you're doing is exactly opposite of what President Trump said would happen. President Trump promised a golden age. He said that people would have more money than we've ever had in our pockets. He said that inflation would drop immediately when he took office. He said that things would become more affordable. And of course, the list goes on. What we've seen is the exact opposite. What you've been doing is the opposite of what the President of the United States, Donald Trump, said would occur. You've been laying off people by the thousands, number one. And number two, you've been going in there and accusing that there's a lot of fraud. Whenever you do that, you're attacking people that aren't involved in fraud. And to claim that if they are unhappy or if they complain about what you're doing, that they have to be the ones that fraud is total stupidity. Yes, you, stupidity. These people, the majority of them working for the United States government, are not about fraud. Now, the question is, well, is there fraud in the U.S. government? Yes. There's also fraud at SpaceX. There's also fraud at Intel. There's fraud at Target. There's fraud at BP. There's fraud at Exxon. There's fraud at Starbucks. There's fraud at Rock. There is fraud in every organization. That is a fact. Remember, SpaceX has fraud. It's not the majority of people. And when you go in there and saying there's a bunch of fraud and I know who you are, no. Now let's go to the next part of that. What you're doing also is by saying this out loud, you want people to quit complaining about what you're doing. And I've already listed why they're complaining. So one of the reasons that you're saying this is they'll stop complaining, you stop looking bad. That's what this is about. So, oh, wait a minute. If I want to keep my job, I just don't complain. You are not a leader, and you obviously don't understand organizational behavior. Leaders know that they are the complaint department, and you are not the complaint department. And you are not the person to be walking into the United States government, not just because you're not an elected official. You do not have the skill set to find this accountability. You should be removed along with this stupid department of Doge because there is a better way of discovering the fraud without coming up with dumb numbers. And when you say that a survey that should cost $10,000 costs the government $1 billion, you can put a link there. But let me be honest with you. Why would no one catch that? A $10,000 cost that comes to $1 billion. I do not find what you're doing to have credibility.